Here we have Dehaka, missing an arm, Hotline Bling, Drake. So before we look at the talents, let's look at his abilities. So first of all, he doesn't have a mount. Okay, so you cannot mount with this hero. I press Z, and what actually happens is, if you look at the mini map, you can actually teleport to bushes. Okay, so it allows you to burrow to any bush on the battleground, no matter the distance. So if I Z over here, casting time, it's almost exactly the same as Abathur's dig, except that there's a casting time when you come out from the other side, and it can only be casted in bushes. However, unlike Abathur, you don't need vision of the area you're digging to. So I can dig to this bush even if I don't have vision. So his first ability is drag. So it's basically, toggle this. If I Q a hero, so if I Q in front of me, it just puts out my tongue. So the first enemy hit by this, so I hit a minion here, will drag the minion to me, or drag whatever I hit with it. So if I hit Arthas with this, I can drag him. Additionally, it stuns him, so you can see the little circle above his head. It stuns the hero that you hit, and you can still attack during it. So you can see I'm still attacking while it's active. Okay, missed there. The range is very short though, and there is a bit of a cast time. So if you see I move, again, Dehaka has no mobility at all. So if I try to like get to Arthas and he just walks away from me, I can't actually get to him. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting how he actually works in a team fight. His second ability is Dark Swarm. So basically you press this ability and it does area effect damage around you. It also lets you move through units. So see how I'm blocking here? And then now I can move through him when this is active, and through all creatures. It does double damage versus heroes. So if you look at the numbers, there's 131 to Arthas and 65 to minions. So it's pretty standard. Okay, so Burrow is his E. It literally just, you press E and you're invulnerable for 2 seconds. You cannot come out of Burrow when you activate it. Okay, so I press Burrow, I cannot leave it. I can't press E, I can't reactivate it. I'm stuck in Burrow for the duration. When you're burrowed, you can use your Dark Swarm, and you can also use your passive, which is Essence Collection. So Essence Collection makes Dehaka. It's extremely strong and heals you in an insane amount. So let me just refresh forts and set level to 1, so you can see the relative strength of it. So every time a minion dies, you gain 2 stacks of essence, and every time a hero dies, you gain 10 stacks. You can hold up to 50 stacks, and every time you collect, it's actually bugged right now, but every time you collect an essence, you can heal for a certain amount. Okay, so now it's not bugged. So for every essence you collect, you heal yourself for 30 over 5 seconds. So once you collect 50 stacks, like for right now, for reference, I have 2,500 health, right? And I have about half, and I can heal for 572. And this scales even more than your health, so you gain an insane amount of health, especially late game. So if I just kill Arthas, I have 50 stacks now. So I can heal for 1,500 health, and I only have 2,500 health. So you can heal for, is that 2/3? Almost 2/3 of your health. 3/5 of your health you can heal for. That's pretty crazy, and it heals you for over 5 seconds. So let me kill this guy again, grab some essence, just perma stun this guy because cooldowns. So let's get my full stacks up. I'm at 31 right now, 32. It actually says down here. Okay, so remember that the important thing about drag is that not that just that it pulls, it's like a significantly better stun. It's a stun, but it's much better. And I feel like that's going to be underrated a lot. People aren't going to think about it as a stun. They're going to think about it as like a drag effect. It's not utility. not just utility, like, it does damage, but the drag effect is very strong. But the stun effect is amazing as well. So I'm about this low, level 2, and that's how much 50 stacks heals for. Heals for your almost my entire health over 5 seconds. It's really good. And it basically makes his kit. So let's look at his talents now. So again, the fact that he doesn't have a mount is pretty shitty. Like I want to gank anyone, I literally I can't mount up. So he's very similar to Brightwing, but Brightwing at least has the increased movement speed that she can cast on herself. Dehaka, if you want to gank or if you want to fight, if you want to initiate, you have to dig behind, and you have to gank from a bush. This will dramatically change the way the games are played against Dehaka, because instead of the initiation from like a lane, you're gonna be staying away from bushes. Okay, so let's look at his talents now. Let me change the level.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Okay, so the first talent reduces the damage for the next 2 abilities made against you by 25%. This is really shit. It's probably one of the shittiest talents in the game. Never get this talent. The reason it's bad is because it only reduces 25% the damage from abilities, and Dark Swarm has a decent long cooldown. It's basically like block for spells, but it only reduces 25% instead of 75%. I would not get this talent. Primal Aggression is good, but as you'll see in a second, there's much better options. So Primal Aggression increases the damage to minions and monsters by 100%. So it makes Dark Swarm deal the same amount of damage to minions and and mercenaries as it does to heroes. So it would deal twice as much here. So instead of dealing 65, it would deal like 131. Okay, so these are interesting talents. Every time you collect 50 essence, you permanently increase your movement speed by 1.5% up to 15%. And for tissue regeneration, every time you collect 50 essence, you permanently increase your health regeneration by 5 up to 50. Okay, so I'm level. Let me just go down to level 1 again for a second. Okay, so if I look at my health regeneration right now is only 5.27. Okay, if I look at my health regeneration at level 20, it's only 11.07. Okay, you can gain up to 50 health regeneration with this talent. Okay, so you can increase your health regeneration by like 6 times or 10 times. What am I saying? By 5 times or something. Okay, it's very strong. But of course, it takes a while to stack. Both of these will stack at the same rate, so you can get 10. So you basically collect 500 essence to permanently stack these. But important to note. So once I take the enhanced agility, for example, it has a counter up here to show. So once the green makes a full circle, I'll get a stack. And I have 50 essence right now stored. So it doesn't matter if you have a max of 50. You'll benefit from this either way. So you'll still increase from this. So I just want to get 1 stack so I can show you guys. Come here, Arthas. Okay. Almost got a stack. Can heal with essence. Okay, so I get 1 stack here, and this equates to I got the movement speed, so now I get 1.5%. So this stacks up to 10 times. This will equal 15% movement speed, which is very good. Now, what would I get between the health regeneration and movement speed? You have to remember that Dehaka doesn't have a mount, so the movement speed is very good, but the amount of health regeneration is crazy to me. If you don't have a healer, or you have low healing in your team, I would get the health regeneration. If you have lots of healing in your team, I would get the movement speed. Now I move to level 4. So Burrow grants stealth for 5 seconds. So when you use Burrow, when you come out of it, actually I think when you're in it, actually, I'll just take this talent and check. Yeah, once you burrow, you're actually so you're stealth from the second that you press burrow. So I'm actually stealth right now, so that makes it hard to see. So if I, you know, oh, I'm running away, I need to get away, and I go around a corner or something. So I'll make it down here. So I go around the corner, and I burrow here. It could make it easy to escape. Again, you could also burrow from out of a bush. So you could burrow and then run away. How good is that? I don't know. So I don't think burrow is very good because you're usually burrowing in the middle of a team fight. Okay, so now I look at numbing eruption. So numbing eruption basically, when you come out of burrow, you knock enemies back and you slow them by 30%. So the problem with this talent is that you can't control when you get out of burrow. You just, after 2 seconds, you come out of it. And if there's people near you, then you can knock them up. But the range is very short. So if I burrow here, you knock them back nicely. So if I do in the middle of the wave, you knock them all back. So the amount, I'm trying to see if I can see how far. So it knocks them pretty far back. So if I hit this minion, I won't hit this minion. So if I go a little bit closer, I might hit it. Yeah, so the range that you hit people back is decent. And you'll slow them. It's probably worth taking sometimes, but let's look at the other talents. So the other ones are probably better, especially since you're going stacking. So what it does is, one who collects increases the amount that you collect from minions by 50%. So instead of getting 2 per minion kill, you now gain 3 per minion kill, which is pretty good, right? But let's look at the other talents. The other one, Hero Stalker, increases the essence you gain from takedowns by 150%. So instead of getting 10 per takedown, you now gain 25. Obviously that's amazing versus Vikings and Abathur, or not Abathur, sorry, Murky, and some other heroes. But it's also better than taking the minions one on maps like Battlefield. This is definitely a great talent to take in Hero League. On a map like Battlefield though, in a competitive play, I would probably just take Numbing Eruption because you don't get a lot of kills in competitive most of the time. But notice that if you're in a team fight and you get a couple kills, you'll gain, like, if you get 2 kills, you'll gain full stack. You'll get 50 stacks of essence, which is like, 3/5, 2/3 of your health. So you have to think about it like that as well. It basically gives you, in a sense, it gives you reset potential, if that makes sense. So yeah, very good talent. But I wouldn't take this talent on most maps. It's very specific when you'd want to take this talent, but it can be very good in the right situation. One who collects is probably what I would take most of the time, especially if it's on a larger map that focuses more on PvE. Numbing Eruption could be good as well, but don't take Lurker Strain. Okay, so level 7 is very easy to know what to take. So first I go over Constriction. Increases the duration of drag by 0.5 seconds. It's pretty shitty. The duration is 1.75 now, so you increase it to 2.25, which is nice, but let's look at the other talents. So Symbiosis increases decreases the cooldown of Dark Swarm, which is 9-second cooldown, every time you hit an enemy hero with it, and it hits every second. So if I'm on a single target, it'll hit 3 times, so it'll reduce the cooldown of Dark Swarm by 1.5 seconds against a single target. Now if you're in the middle of a team, you're gonna decrease the cooldown much more, right? So you're gonna hit multiple heroes all around you, and it's gonna significantly reduce the cooldown of it. So if you're in the middle of a team fight, you're hitting people, and not only do you have it, will you get Dark Swarm back up more, but since Dark Swarm will be back up more often, you can use it more often, which means you decrease the cooldown more often, and it gets exponentially stronger the more people you hit with it. You can almost just permanently have this up in fights, which is crazy. Essence Devourer basically gives you 10 essence every time you grab a globe, which isn't even that great. But let's look at the level, the first talent here, Feeding Frenzy, which reduces the cooldown of drag by 1.5 seconds every time you auto attack. So let me turn off cooldowns here for a second. and reset my talents. Okay, so the cooldown of her abilities are very long. Okay, so if I dig, that is a 40-second cooldown. If I burrow, that is a 20-second cooldown. If I W, 9 seconds, and if I Q, 15 seconds. So now I'm doing nothing here for 5 seconds, right? She has a lot of downtime. I said she again. Dehaka has a lot of downtime after using abilities. So reducing the cooldown of Feeding Frenzy with Feeding Frenzy is amazing. So every time you auto attack, I just want to get some minions here so I can show you guys. So I use Q, 15 seconds normally, right? Let me just toggle the cooldown. So now, watch when I auto attack how fast it recovers. It's already back up again. If you're in a team fight, remember that this isn't just a drag. This is a stun as well. Like, you're gonna have this up so often, it's gonna be insane. And it doesn't only work on heroes. If you attack minions, it resets. It's really strong. It's an insanely powerful talent. I would not be sorry if that talent got nerfed. It's easily her best talent. His best talent. Okay, so at level 10 we have Isolation and Adaptation. Isolation, it's hard to show because I don't have someone using it on me, but so if I take it here, I launch it at someone, and it's a 60-second cooldown. It's targetable. So you can see here, it's targetable. And what it does is it does damage, it silences them, and slows them. So it slows them by 30% and also silences them for 30 seconds. On top of that, their vision is reduced by 6 seconds in total when you hit them. So you can see that they're covered with it. So they're also silenced there. That's done, but there's still 3 seconds left of the vision reduction. I'm not sure how much the vision reduction is, but if I had to guess, I would say it's probably quite significant. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that when you're dragging, you can also use Dark Swarm, and you can use Essence Collection, but you cannot use Burrow, and you cannot use your Heroic ability. So I would say Isolation is probably the talent you're going to get most of the time. It looks very strong. The silence is amazing. It can be good in multiple situations. It can be good for damage. It can be for slowing, for the CC, the utility provides, for isolating a target. If you hit it on Medic, like I don't think Medic can even heal anyone on her team for like 6 seconds. That's insane. So I'd probably get that talent. The other talent is Adaptation, which after 5 seconds heals you for 60% of the damage you took over this period. So remember, your passive will heal you for over 5 seconds, but it heals you over 5 seconds when you activate it. Okay, so what you probably want to do with Adaptation is you'd probably want to activate Essence Collection, because when you activate Adaptation, you're not actually healing yourself. So you're taking full damage for 5 seconds, and then you heal yourself for 60%. So at most, you're healing yourself for 60% of your max health, right? It's not that great. I don't see, like, I feel like it could have been a lot better if they did something more unique with it, but the fact that it heals you, it's just like a 60% heal on your health. Like, it's not that good, and you already have a heal in your kit. Like, if they switch these around, Essence Collection and Adaptation, I think Essence Collection would probably be like a better heroic if they reduce the amount of essence that you need. Adaptation is also a much longer cooldown than Isolation, so I would say that most of the time you're going to be going for Isolation. Level 13 is interesting. Whirling Dervish basically makes it so that it's relentless. It's a shitty relentless because it only works when you have Dark Swarm up, which is only 3 seconds. So maybe sometimes it could be really good versus very high utility teams, which lots of CC. But most of the time, you're not going to want to be getting Whirling Dervish. Now we have Swift Pursuit, which increases your movement speed by 20% while in a bush, and 2% or 2 seconds after leaving. And Ferocious Stalker, which increases your movement speed by 60% after you use Bush Stalker, but it decays decays over 3 seconds. So if I show you the amount of movement speed that is, it's pretty good considering he has no movement speed in general, right? Like, I think that's pretty good. You can also see I'm already starting to move faster with 7 stacks with mobility. Of course, I've just been farming Arthas over here. But I feel like I'm moving quite faster already with it. So I show you again the movement speed. It's pretty good. You move quite a lot faster, especially if you're engaging. Remember, you have to, like, you're gonna want to engage, right, in the fight, and say Arthas is farther. You come out. Okay, I got Arthas. I'm pulling him away. Now I'm using my ult, you know, doing more damage, and my team's following up. Okay. So that's kind of how you're gonna want to be using Dehaka. That being said, I would still take Swift Pursuit. The reason is, remember that you can only use Brush Stalker in a bush. Okay, so if you're in the bush, you're gonna gain Swift Pursuit anyway. So every time you use Brush Stalker, you're still gonna gain the 20% movement speed from Swift Pursuit. So the difference is you permanently gain 20% movement speed anytime you enter a bush. So imagine like Battlefield and how many brushes and vents there are in that. And now compare, like you can basically have 20% permanent movement speed in some fights. And I think that's much stronger than occasionally having 60% increased movement speed. So I would get Swift Pursuit every time. At 16, this is an easy choice in my opinion. So Rapid Regeneration increases your healing by 700, or it heals you for X amount over 2 seconds when you burrow. So while you burrow, you heal. Okay, this heals you for 700, and with 50 stacks, I heal for 3,500. So this heals very little. Heals for like a 1/6 or something, or a 1/7 of what Essence Collection heals. So the amount of heal, my point is that the amount of heal that Rapid Regeneration provides you is very little. Elongated Tongue increases the drag range by 20%, so you can shoot a little bit farther. But the best one I think is Paralyzing Enzymes, which after you Q, you slow the enemy hero by 50%. So I show Arthas will stop dying. I pull, and look how slow he is after, and that gives you a lot of follow-up. So I'll just kill him here. Apparently not. Okay, I want him to reset. Okay, so if I turn off cooldowns, the 50% is not only amazing for when you're going on heroes, but the slow is not only very significant. When you're attacking a single hero, you're pulling them right, it allows you to follow up very well afterwards. So I almost already have the cooldown of my Q back up. If I ult, you know, the slow is very strong. I think that's an easy choice at level 16. Okay, so level 20, you have different talents. So Hardened Shield, obviously, is always going to be good. It's probably what you're going to take most of the time. You have Contagion, so your Isolation will also hit nearby heroes. I'm not sure on the radius of Contagion. I'm not sure how wide the area is around the hero that you're hitting. It could be good. I don't know if it'll be good. However, Apex Predator is very interesting. So reduces the cooldown of Brush Stalker by 30 seconds, so it's currently 40 seconds, and increases the cast time by 0.5 seconds. So the cast time right now is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So it's about like 3 seconds going in, 2 seconds coming out. So if I take Apex Predator, the cooldown is not only, let me just reset for a sec. The cooldown is not only significantly reduced, 40 to 10 seconds is insane. So I think it's shorter on both going in and coming out. But yeah, like I cannot overstate how insane 10 seconds is. Like I can already dig out again. That is crazy fast. Can you imagine level 20 when you have a what's it called? Like a global comp or something? Like that's insane. The cooldown is so short. However, you are giving up Hardened Shield. So you can just jump in and out of fights constantly, but if you can't actually just win the fight, like if they're just killing you too fast, then it might not be worth it. So Hardened Shield might be the best choice anyway, but the power that Apex Predator gives is insane. It's like when you consider Falstad's Epic Mount, compared to like Nexus Frenzy or something, right? Nexus Frenzy is not nearly as good as Hardened Shield, but like the utility that Epic Mount gives on Falstad is insane. But Apex Predator is arguably better. Again, like the cooldown is so reduced. Like you literally get in the fight, and you can just jump out again. Like it's already back up. Plus the reduced cast time. I can see a lot of plays being made with this talent. Alright, so yeah, and then for the adaptation, increases the healing to 125 from 60. So that is a huge increase. So instead of healing for 60% of the damage you took over 5 seconds, you heal for 125. So more than double. I still don't think this is good. I think that you're probably going to want Hardened Shield over that every time. Especially since the cooldown of Hardened Shield is 60 seconds and adaptation is 90. But it could be good. Probably not. I don't see Change of Survival being good. Like if they don't have enough burst damage to kill you and you don't need to take Hardened Shield, I would just take Apex Predator. I don't think Change of Survival is good enough to take. So yeah, that's the talent build I would get for Dehaka. I think it's pretty clear. Like I don't think I would change anything. Okay, that's annoying. I'm pretty confident on this build. Dehaka overall seems very good. I'm gonna play her in Hero League after this. Or not Hero League, on the PTR for quick match. The Q is probably gonna be insane, but also notice at level 10. So if I reset talents, notice her arm. I said her again. Notice his arm is missing. I think it's once you hit level 10. If I just take random talents, you gain 2 arms at level 10. So that's a pretty cool thing. So if I just show you adaptation, oh no, I'm taking so much damage. I activate it, so you can use Burrow during this time to help heal, but it doesn't heal that much. Like, probably gonna die here. Not maybe not. So the amount of healing that Essence Collection provides is a lot more, I think. If the max adaptation can heal you is 60%, and it's probably not going to heal you for 60%. And you can die during that period. I just don't think it's very good. If this is like a 50-second cooldown, I could consider it, but 90 seconds is insane. If you get the level 20 version, like it heals a much more reasonable amount to be worth taking. If you take like 99% of your health, this is going to overheal you, obviously, because it heals for 125% of 99%. So it's more than 100% of your actual health. Let me just toggle cooldowns before I die here. Okay, so if I toggle cooldowns, so if I do this, I'm not actually. How much percentage of my max health am I taking? Like, I didn't take that much health. So let me refresh these forts, refresh my talents. Okay, so let's see how much damage I'm actually taking here. So I'll activate it now.
Your killing spree has ended.
Okay, I thought it would activate it a little bit sooner. Alright, let's dig over here. Let me break this wall. Okay, let me activate it now. This should heal, like almost fully heal me. It heals a reasonable amount. See, it's very. It's obvious when you're using it because you glow and shit. I really like the animation and stuff, but so what you should be doing with this with adaptation is you take a bunch of damage, and like just as you're about to take a bunch of damage but not lethal damage, you activate adaptation. And then you heal for a bunch of health, but it's the cooldown is too long and it doesn't heal for enough, and it's like it feels really underwhelming. And you already have Essence Collection, which heals so much more. Like this talent heals so much more than your heroic. Like it doesn't feel like a heroic. Is what I'm trying to say. Isolation is what you should be taking. Yeah. So actually, if you think about Burrow is basically Ice Block with a 20-second cooldown, which is good. It's weird to have it on a tank, I feel like you should be able to move while burrowed or something. I think it's kind of lame that you can't move, but whatever. That'd probably be OP if you could move with stasis. But yeah, I think that's the end of Dehaka. Let me see if there's any other changes that I missed. There's a bunch of bug fixes, nothing too big. Apparently they fixed the invalid error. And that's what it says in the patch notes. They fixed invalid. That's good to hear. I think that's all the changes. Yeah, I think that's all the changes. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in chat. Now's the time to ask, and I can kind of hover my build. Okay, so what I got here was, I'll just go over my Dehaka build again. You're gonna want enhanced agility if you don't have a lot of healing on your team. Sorry, you want enhanced ability if you have a lot of healing on your team. Tissue regeneration if you do not. If you're on a map where there's a lot of minions and like 3 lanes, you know, 2-man Spider Queen, Dragonshire, one who collects is probably better. If you're on a map, if you're in Hero League, Quick Match, Battlefield of Eternity, Hero Stalker is probably really good. Competitive play, I don't think I'd take this talent because there aren't that many kills and it's unreliable. Otherwise, you can get Numbing Eruption, which is still pretty good. Some people might take this anyway. I don't think it's required that you get one of these 2 talents. Feeding Frenzy is the absolute talent you should 100% take at level 7. Isolation is almost certainly the talent you're going to take at level 10. Swift Pursuit is the talent you're going to take at level 13, unless you need Whirling Dervish. Paralyzing Enzyme is the talent you want at level 16. And either Hardened Shield or Apex Predator, which is an insane talent. Possibly Contagion. I don't know what the size of the area is where other heroes will be hit. But yeah, Apex Predator looks insane. I recommend you try that out. And Hardened Shield if you absolutely need it. So pretty straightforward. I'm sure I'd be very surprised if this isn't the build that most people are taking. I could possibly see Symbiosis taken. If, for example, they have a lot of tanks at level 7. So if you're level 7 and they have a ton of tanks where it stuns and the drag isn't that effective, and you're just in the fighting melee heroes, I could see Symbiosis being better than Feeding Frenzy.
Today I'm going to be doing a patch note breakdown. Today we have a really big patch. Probably the biggest patch Heroes have seen in a long time. Might even be bigger than the scaling changes. We'll see how some of these changes are working.